Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode of the Leadership Lens. And in this special feature, we'll be hosting two of our previous guests. Because leadership, just like jazz, comes with the unpredictability of the future and the gifts of the individuals. And so, following a successful gubernatorial tenure, these two candidates chose to take it a notch higher and bid for the presidency of the University of Nairobi Students Association. And so today, there is a lot to be learned and a lot to be reflected upon with Governor or previous Governor Soy, as well as previous Governor Gwanda. Karibu. Kindly reintroduce yourself.
Oh, thank you so much. My name is Ngetish Michael Tsoi, the outgoing governor, Faculty of Engineering, and also a presidential candidate in the just concluded elections. And to start with, I'd like to say congratulations to Monica Malith, the president of University of Nairobi Students Association. Yes.
All right. Congratulations to you as well. It was indeed a bold step of you to take, and we are indeed proud of you here at the Leadership Lens.
Thank
now,
you.
Let's go right into what we intend to speak about today, your reflections from that experience.
Yes.
Let's begin with how is the going so far a few weeks after the electoral period?
A few weeks after, I can say the going is good because now I've gone back to the drawing board to what brought us to the university back in the times when we joined the first year, and that was academics. And now all the energies are now directed towards having good performance in academia.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'm curious, did you ever foresee the possibility of the seat going to someone else, and had you prepared for that?
That is what happens in any competition. There must be a number one, a number two, and a number three. And ever since I vied to become the governor of Faculty of Engineering, I was ready to let another person lead the faculty. And by the aspect that one takes their time, introspects, and says that I want to vie, for example, to become the governor or the president, it means they have the capability. But the presidency can only contain one person. And at the end of the day, the election is the determining factor. So I was very ready for any outcome, which either I myself winning or any of the other two candidates I was vying against winning. And it came the other way around. So I was prepared for that.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's a good thing. Now, are there any lessons that you managed to gather from that experience?
Yeah, a lot of lessons that I learned along the way, because most of the students and staff in the university were like, we've never seen a student from Faculty of Engineering vying for the presidency. So what is this special thing that you have as compared to the rest? And I was like, this is just a gentleman who is dreaming, and an opportunity presented itself. They have been thinking about this, and I gave it a try. So along the process, I had to come up with a team, interact with students from across the university, across all the 13 faculties. I had the chance to travel to Mombasa, to Kisumu. I had never done that before. So it was an opportunity for me to traverse the university from one end to the other.
Okay.
Yes.
What are some of the key takeouts that you feel this I will carry with me even after this experience?
The experience has taught me that whenever we are going towards a certain goal that we've set, we must be able to have an elaborate plan on how we are able to achieve it. Many times when we set out to do something, we have a plan. But as we move along towards its attainment, it tends to move. I can allude this to example, having a map that is deemed to lead me to a certain destination. At times, the maps that we have are rough sketches, and they don't necessarily take us to the right place that we want to go. And in this journey to the presidency, by judging by the fact that I never managed to be elected the president, it means the map that I was working with had some defects. It needed some corrections here and there. And having had an interaction with the person who won the elections, I've learned where my map had defects, and I'm doing revisions here and there to ensure that it suits me in ensuring that I get to where I wanted to.
Okay.
Yes.
Those are interesting lessons to learn. And there's a book called Who Moved My Cheese? And
Yes.
so literally you find yourself in a situation where your cheese has moved. So kindly share with us, now that your cheese is not in the seat of presidency, where is it as we speak?
So I really loved that book. Kindly remind who is the author of the book? Forgetting the author of the book you've mentioned, but I love the way the characters in that book, one had who had hanged their boots on their shoulders, told their friends, we need to get out of this place and start moving on to look into the other stores if we can wait, if we can see where the gist has been moved to. And then the other was like, let me still be patient and wait in this spot, perhaps itarudishwa to this same point.
Yeah, that was hem and hoe.
Exactly. So hemming and hawing, moving. So in this life, it's constantly on motion, and we should be able to adapt to change. And at times, the change that we need, it finds us along the way, and you can either move with the current, or you can try to be static and it will sweep you. And that is why I've learned the art of sailing along with the current as opposed to someone who is learning the art of rowing. You see? So this commodity has been moved, or it has moved. And then when we were working towards the presidency, we were looking at the wider picture of how can we serve students in the university. Then there's also another book authored that is The Leader Without a Title. So it comes to a point whereby Martin Luther King said, you can serve not specifically having a certain title or an office where you are, but service to the humanity can be offered even if you, by the own capacity that you have. So I'm in that point whereby now there are aspirations that I carried for University of Nairobi Students Association. So are you willing to stand on with those who've been elected and tell them, this is what I wanted to do if I would have gotten there? Can you implement this? Or are you that person who is like, now that I have failed, I have to recoil back to my cocoon and leave alone the things that I wanted to do? I can say I'm the first aspect of that person, whereby I'm willing to engage with the administration that is in place and ensure that the things that I aspired for the students are still being able to be manifested for them. Yes.
Okay. And we hope to see that happen because you did share some positive ambitions for that. And while we're still talking about the gentleman who was dreaming, what are your new dreams now?
It's not a new dream, because when I was vying to become the president of the University of Nairobi, I was so keen in interacting with students, the university administration, the corporate world, to form strategic partnership both for myself and in extension for the association. So it's still a journey it's still work in progress, and we haven't lost sight of where we wanted to go. It's only that we will be doing it under the capacity of, this is SOI, not under the capacity of the president of the association. So the transitioning towards taking up leadership roles in the corporate world, they are still so much alive, and with the time, we'll be able to realize that.
Okay.
So we are still in the right trajectory.
Okay.
Yes.
The spirit of reworking maps, yeah. Now, in the last time we had you on the show,
Yes.
you mentioned that you had intentions of proceeding to do a second degree in law school.
Yes.
And when we asked you about your interest to take a stab at UNSA leadership again, you mentioned to us, and rightly so, that having served as president, then you would not be able to take another term. But in view of the fact that that bid did not go as we expected, then should we expect to see you take another bid at UNSA leadership? Per adventure, you continue that bid.
So when I set up this goal, I had a 5-year plan, 7 and 10-year plan of how I like things to manifest for me as I continue growing. So if we can attain the things that I want to attain, even if I had missed this presidency, because this was the right moment, which I felt for myself, I have the best energies and opportunities to serve as the president of the association. So when that time comes, when I'll be doing my second degree, that is in law, perhaps we'd have transcended to other major goals more than being the president of UNSA. But if the calling, if the bells are rung and we are needed to provide that service, why not?
Okay.
Yes.
That's fine. Then we shall be waiting along with you. As we wind up this, what would be your final remarks, especially to your constituents, and of course, you did garner votes from the delegates. Kindly speak to those people who believed in you and believed in your presidency.
The people who believed in me, I'd like to say a big thank you. It's not like a scenario whereby you have 0 votes. So there is someone who stood somewhere who was an elector and said, I believe in Soy's leadership. That really boosts my morale and the courage that it was not all in vain. It was not all about me. There is somebody who saw in the vision that I had, and they wanted us to really pick it up from there and take it along. I'd like to say a big thank you to them. And I still owe them a lot, because the things that they saw in me that I would have implemented in UNSA, it isn't now scrapped, because I am working on having collaboration with the current government of UNSA to see how can we implement this thing, how can they incorporate in their strategic plan of during their 1-year academic tenure. And then to the leaders who've been elected, it's now time to serve the students' fraternity. You have to deliver. That's all I have to say for them. Yes.
In view of the outcome that we now have,
Yes.
what do you think you would have done differently in retrospect?
Most of the things I did concerning to the bounds of the Constitution, in each and every game, there is an offensive side and a defensive side. And let's take an arbitrary example of football. For the striker of Team A to score, there must be a defective side in the defense of Team B. You see? So despite them having mounted up a nice defense, there will still be some flaws which bring about the scoring of the goal. So some of these flaws that are there, they are internal. It's something that you can't share to the camera or to the world, because there are things that are the nitty-gritties of how you miss it out on them. So discussing them on camera won't be so much good, because I'm still nursing the wounds of losing the elections, working on them. So I would prefer to let that pass for now. But in the future, when we'll be having interactions, one will be able to point that, so he had a flow here from the conversation, but not me myself saying this and this and this. That will make it more interesting.
Okay, then we wish you a quick recovery in that sense. And yeah, we look forward to learning them from those as well.
Yes.